Hello, hello. Welcome to Speaking with Judgment. I'm your guy every day. My name is Jonathan Mathis, the sports judge. Thanks for spending your day with me as we break down a variety of sports topics. The Colts picked the quarterback, and reality is that they got the quarterback position wrong again. I will say the Colts have a legit quarterback problem, and I think this is going to play long into the season and is going to be like a quarterback carousel where each one of these quarterbacks gets the start. A quarterback decision has been made in Indianapolis. The quarterback has been announced. Say it ain't so. It's the Daniel Jones show in Indy. Now all the talk you're hearing about Daniel Jones is getting another shot with an improved roster. This is going to be his job now. This is, to me, a team closing a tough chapter. For months, we peddled this myth of a quarterback battle, even questioning when it happened. Why would the Colts sign Daniel Jones? It was clear as day who would be the next quarterback in my mind. Some just chose to ignore it. Do you make the decision based off camp? I mean, to be honest, Jones was the more consistent quarterback throughout camp. That doesn't mean he's the man for the job. And to me, it doesn't feel like a confident decision. Naming Daniel Jones quarterback feels like such a safe pick. I don't expect Jones to survive a 17-game season. I don't expect that. It's quarterback purgatory again for this franchise. This is not messing around time here. Hey, we got to get the quarterback thing figured out. The quarterback you chose, this is not a starting quarterback, but the Colts are treating him like one. I've said this countless times. Jones is a backup at best. There's nothing he has done that has impressed me. I was confused the day the Colts signed him. Okay, so he had one good playoff game. And what has he done since then? He went from being the second coming of Joe Montana to being the next Mitchell Trubisky. The Colts for the last several years have been all about experimenting at the quarterback, trying this guy out, drafting this guy, that guy, but failed to develop these guys. This is why the idea Daniel Jones will magically have a career resurgence this season is comical to me. There's an element of this that you obviously have to understand. The priority was to lay out a developmental plan for Anthony Richardson, being able to properly game plan for your quarterback, learn tendencies of the player, and give him enough time to develop and set him up to succeed. So a smart move would have been to let him start as quarterback, give him another year to prove himself through time and development. A rookie second year, even a third year quarterback is likely going to struggle. There will be growing pains. And if at first turn of adversity, the coaches can't show patience and replaces him with a quarterback who got benched and kicked to the curb, then to me, that's not a very good sign for your football team. I think your season is ruined no matter what when it comes to competing because of this quarterback situation. When week one starts in the regular season, it's just another evaluation game or experimental game. You don't know where this team is going to be at in week one unless you go based on how Daniel Jones looked and performed last season with the New York Giants before he got dumped. This is the quarterback that's not going to get you there. And to me, it's lamentable to see that he's going to be the starting quarterback. Now what you have is a low quality quarterback. And now the Colts, as they do every season, is facing uncertainty. But hey, that's the Colts. And man, I just do not think that this guy, Daniel Jones, ends the franchise's cycle of instability at the position. The team, the whole time, I believe, was leaning towards making a quarterback change. The team, the whole time, I believe, was never all in on Richardson and knew all along they would wind up benching him in favor of Daniel Jones. This season, I'm telling you, this season will reveal, like never before, a glaring amount of instability at quarterback. That sort of instability at one of the most important positions on the field is not a sustainable recipe for success. It never is. We always hold the quarterback accountable, but never the GM or the coach. Why is the quarterback the first person we look at when something goes wrong? If we look at Shane Steichen and Chris Ballard, this current regime, can we say they are a case study in management? I'm ready to say this team is in need of new blood of management. Maybe a whole new front office, a new GM, especially changes the perception of the team. This team will never hit another level if they keep changing quarterbacks and not giving them the time needed to improve and blossom. I don't favor this move. Not at all. What you should do is stick with Anthony Richardson. So I have no idea what to expect, how it will go. It would probably be a bleep show and in the best way unimaginable. And no, like a lot of you, I don't think this is the end of Anthony Richardson. We could see him again by week 5. When you're part of an organization that can never commit to a quarterback, you don't have a chance. Your job is not secure. To me, the main thing, my takeaway from camp, and this is about Daniel Jones, and it's just my thought, but the views of Daniel Jones is that he's a Band-Aid quarterback who covers up the wound, but doesn't necessarily treat the wound, if that makes sense. The feeling around him is he's talked about in a way that he's this consistent quarterback. Like, they're turning to him to lead the offense, even though he's never established himself as a reliable NFL starter. And I get it. You got to perform at a high level, week in and week out. And that's not something Anthony Richardson has done. But I think Richardson has room to grow. It could also be the Colts don't trust him enough ever since he took himself out of a game due to fatigue. I think because of his questionable character, the fact that he's dealt with injuries, and because of his reckless style of play, it doesn't feel like, oh, this is a long-term development, or this is a guy who is part of our future arrangements. We're trying to cuddle this guy and make sure he's comfortable. It feels like the vibe I got is that the Colts feel they got it wrong at quarterback. And it's almost like they're ready to try it with Daniel Jones. But to me, it's bold. It's a bold and boring choice. Steichen let it be known Jones is not a short leash. I think just like what we saw happen in New York can also happen in Indy. You underperform, struggle in any way, and can't elevate the offense, they will pull the plug on him as the starting quarterback, and that's when Anthony Richardson will get another opportunity, most likely. I believe, my honest take, I strongly believe the Colts should have named QB1, should have named Anthony Richardson QB1 over Daniel Jones. Figure out if AR can be a franchise quarterback. If he's not the one, then okay. It may be time to reconsider your options at quarterback and realize you need to draft a quarterback in 2026. You cannot possibly have this thought that Daniel Jones is a long-term solution. He isn't. I would rather give the starting job to Anthony Richardson, give him another year, see what he will look like, and whether or not he can make a leap. I would. You won't know unless you give him an opportunity. And while the reset in Indy gives Daniel Jones an opportunity to revive his career, and while it takes pressure off Anthony Richardson, naming Jones the week 1 starter, I feel as if this doesn't elevate his teammates, and giving the job to Jones doesn't help his growth, doesn't help Anthony Richardson's growth. Again, NFL coaches, teams are impatient, and developing a quarterback requires patience. It takes time. Sucks for Anthony Richardson for sure, and yes, he shares some of the responsibility for what happened at the quarterback position. But the Colts have also seemingly mismanaged his development from the start. So I'm blaming the talent evaluators before blaming him. It's the easy and lazy thing to do, blame the quarterback all the time. They completely botched this as badly as they could. Anyway, it's no secret Richardson doesn't have a lot of reps under his belt. But if you remember, he only started 13 games in college and then declared for the NFL draft. And of course, that was validated by his play and approach in his rookie season, where he was trying to do too much, not protecting his body, and doing things that would put the team in position to take the next step. I think sometimes when you see a player use the NFL Combine to springboard his draft stock, which helped him tremendously as he killed it at the NFL Combine, showed out and wowed people, you view it through a lens you've already decided. So when he quickly rose tremendously, we felt he was ready to take his game to the next level. Was the 4th overall pick in 2023, and to me is one of the most special physically gifted quarterbacks I've seen. When you draft an extremely talented but raw quarterback 4th overall, knowing it would take time, you have to be patient and give him time. The Colts did everything the opposite of what they said. A complete organizational failure. Transitioning from college to the NFL is a massive leap, similar to moving from high school to college. The NFL has changed over the years. We aren't allowing players to develop anymore. The developmental QB is dead. You go early or you go late. There is just no middle ground anymore. Come on now. I think we all knew what direction they were going in. They already made up their mind. A quarterback that's no longer a starter in New York is now a starter somewhere else. The decision, if you will, at least for the Colts, between Daniel Jones and Anthony Richardson has been made. And it is being discussed. This was never a real quarterback competition, I'm assuming. So to me, Daniel Jones being named the starting quarterback was no surprise. It was the least surprising news of the day earlier this week. I don't think choosing him over Anthony Richardson was a great decision, but it wasn't because Daniel Jones impressed. It was because of what happened last season. I think it is asinine to start Daniel Jones to even think he's the answer for this offense. I think by week 5, maybe even sooner, we will see Anthony Richardson. I do not think this is the end of Anthony Richardson. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it. I love y'all. Thanks for the love and support. I was hoping to get around to doing this video yesterday, but I was sick, man. I was sick like a dog yesterday, early in the AM. I was throwing up. I threw up all over the place yesterday. It was crazy, man. I couldn't, I had an upset stomach. I just felt like trash yesterday, but I feel better today. I feel good. I ate. I drank a lot of water. I stayed hydrated. So I feel good. I think the heat got to me a little bit yesterday. So it was all bad. But I'm good. I'm okay now. It's always great chatting with you guys. But guys, I'm going to end this video now. Thanks for watching. Appreciate the love and support. We'll talk again soon.